My name is Michael Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Vasti Creations. Today we're going to look at the chart for Hayden Panettiere. May she rest in peace. Condolences to her family and loved ones. Um, if you look to the eastern horizon when she was born, you would see the constellation associated with Virgo rising at 10 degrees using Vedic sidereal zodiac. First, we're going to look and see how the planets were operating in her chart and when they're operating during certain events. So, first, Sun is uh, challenging in her chart because it is in the 12th house. 12th house has to do with losses, expenses, hospitalization, depression. And so, uh, it does give, the 12th house gives you the ability to separate from who you are to take on different roles. And since she's an actress, this is gave her great ability there. Then we have weak placement moon. Moon is uh, sitting in the challenging eighth house, and it is ruling the house of income. So this connects her income through public expression of vulnerability, relatable. She's ability to express her emotions through the acting, and this makes her very relatable and a successful actress. Then we have challenging Mars. Mars is ruling that same house, the eighth house, and it gives her the ability to research the different acting roles and the ability to be relatable and express her vulnerability. The eighth house is all about vulnerability. And then the uh, then comes Mercury, and it is weak in infant state. Any planet that is less than 5 degrees has trouble promoting its own significations. So it is in the first house, and it is ruling the first house. It's ruling the chart, basically. So uh, Mercury gives her the ability to express herself and it is um, uh, gives her controversial speech. So she was very much an activist in many ways, and so it gives her the ability to sing and act and express herself in many ways. Then we have weak afflicted by Saturn, Jupiter. Jupiter is ruling the house of happiness and home life, and it is placed in that career house. So this makes it difficult to balance her career and her home life, and her relationships didn't always last very long. She had a couple, three different breakups with people. Then we have weak, afflicted by Saturn, Venus. Venus is ruling the wealth and fame house and the stability in relationships, and it is placed in the first house. So this gives wealth and stability in her relationships. Having Venus in the first house gives her a lot of beauty and ability to act and model and sing. Venus is all about the fine arts, performing arts, and healing arts. She actually wrote a memoir as well. Then we have challenging Saturn. Saturn is ruling the house of health and healing and conflict, and it's placed in the house of happiness and home life. So this brings a lack of peace and and then that that is kind of something that she was dealing with a lot of her life. Then we have challenging Rahu and Ketu, learning to balance physical and spiritual health. Um, So let's look at the timing of events. So her first big break was One Life to Live in 1994 during a Venus period. Venus again giving some wealth and fame. Then next big break was in 2006. I think it went on for 4 or 5 years, a series called The Heroes, and that's during a Jupiter period, bringing happiness. And then in 2009, she had a really bad breakup during a Saturn period, Saturn ruling the house of divorce and splitting and breakups. And then in 2011, she was in Scream during a Mercury period. Mercury bringing more fame and notoriety. 2012, she was in the hit series Nashville and got a couple Golden Globe nominations, and that's during a Venus period, bringing more wealth and fame. 2014, she had a daughter, and then right after that, postpartum depression during a Sun period. Sun is really in the 12th house of depression, addiction, hospitalization, etc. Um, uh, 2018, she lost a custody battle for her child because of her addiction, and that's during a K2 period, K2 sitting in the house of addiction and loss and representing loss. And then 2019, she was in rehab during Mars period, Mars bringing up a lot of vulnerability that needed to be healed at the rehab. And then 2020, she had another bad breakup during a Mars period, again, bringing up a lot of vulnerability. 2023, her brother died, had a heart issue, and a lot of grief came with that during a moon period. Now, moon is ruling the 11th house, which has to do with siblings. And then she died, let's see, uh, of an overdose, likely overdose, August 18th, 2026. And this was, if you look at the chart on the left, the transit chart, the outer circle is where the planets were when she died, and the inner circle is where the planets were when she was born. And you could see that K2 in the 12th house is directly afflicting her natal sun. And so this is all 12th house stuff. 12th house is end of life, depression, addiction. Um, so what could be done to strengthen the chart? Uh, Doing charity work, which she was involved in some charities, would be transforming Rahu, Ketu, Sun, Mars, and Saturn. And then the rest of her benefic planets could be strengthened by my favorite remedy, a kavash, which is a silver locket containing the Devata yantras and mantras for her benefic planets. If you'd like to get um, a kavash or get a reading or learn Vedic astrology, you can go to vastucreations.com. Thank you so much for listening. And again, condolences to her family. May she rest in peace.